Actually, the fact of the matter is, I've come to do your taxes.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I can think of a better subtitle, which is Jurassic Park Fallen Franchise. This film was terrible. After the first film in 1993, which was one of the best summer movies of all time, I really didn't think they could do much more with the concept of people running from dinosaurs. You know, there's maybe different places you can bring them, which, yeah, it looks like they're eventually gonna do that, and in this movie they kind of do, but, you know, given the other sequels we've gotten, they haven't really done much. The next two movies in the franchise were very boring and didn't do anything, really. They had nothing to say. And then we got Jurassic World, which I thought was a pretty fun monster movie that at least showed us what would happen if the park actually opened. It looked cool, and it was shot well, it had great music. I thought it was a lot of fun. And it was just dinosaurs fighting dinosaurs. You know what? That's what we all wanted to see after the original film came out. We wanted to see Jurassic Park come back in a big way. And it did, even though it was basically a revamp of the first film. I thought it was still pretty well done. It was similar to Star Wars The Force Awakens, which funnily enough came out the same year. But then we got Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, since we're going with those titles now, I guess. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which completely it abandons any kind of idea of making any sense. It's not like these movies weren't stupid to begin with. I mean, it's about bringing dinosaurs back from the dead through the use of mosquitoes, and then there was another island for the next movie that had more dinosaurs as if it was a test island. Let's face it, these movies have always done stupid things. The next one has the park actually open, and what do you know? The dinosaurs go in, attack, and eat everyone, and people still don't run away the right way, and then they release the T-Rex to go fight the Indominus Rex. It's ridiculous. These movies are supposed to be ridiculous, and it can make them fun. This movie, however, is not fun, because it starts to take some of their ideas almost too seriously. I get it. I want to see a fun, dumb B-movie, but I don't want to see concepts brought in that are going to make it more serious than it is. Let's face it, a lot of the ideas that are brought forth in this movie that they're trying to give some depth to just don't work out. It's still making tons of money at the box office, so I guess people want to see this crap. Well, fine, I guess if people are enjoying it, whatever, but here are my problems with it.
It's too bad that the first 20 minutes fooled me. From the trailers, it seemed like it was going to be an obvious continuation of the franchise, and it brought up themes that haven't been attempted since The Lost World. It was staying in tone with the silliness of the last film, and made the dinosaurs out to be relatable characters, turning this new decade of Jurassic Park into a fun B-movie series. Then the movie keeps going, and things get extremely insane. Every character seems to have a different motive or plan, which can work in some great films like Kick-Ass or Baby Driver, but here I think a major reason why these separate plot lines don't work is because of the sudden way the new characters show up and the unexplained plans that make no sense. The rich tycoon wants to make money off the dinosaurs through a black market, which seems completely out of tone with the rest of the series. Then this other guy wants to be a dinosaur auctioneer, even though it's never explained what he's going to gain. I guess money? Then there's the war general who's risking his life just to get dinosaur teeth for a necklace, I guess. He also leaves Owen and Claire for dead, as if their disappearances won't raise any eyebrows. Simply going forth with the plan and bringing them with wouldn't really change anything, so I don't know why he had a big point of trying to get rid of them. Then there's James Cromwell, who suddenly shows up and explains how he used to work with John Hammond before being cut out, and he wants to save the dinosaurs, I guess for humanitarian purposes. Then there's Claire and Owen, who attempt to save the day in the Jurassic Mansion with tactics that are random and impossible. It's so messy and it hurts my head, and Jurassic Mansion would have been a better title. Here's a spoiler, sorry. There's human cloning in this movie. I'm sure everyone will hate on the stupidity of that, but I promise these movies are already stupid, so I can accept an idea like this. Except they hardly do anything with it. Except I guess they use the girl as a metaphor for the dinosaurs themselves. But in any case, this little girl was cloned from James Cromwell's dead daughter, which is why John Hammond cut him out, thinking they went too far, that he was using the technology for terrible purposes, like bringing back humans as opposed to dinosaurs, even though the math doesn't really add up. So the girl is only like 10 or 12, right? Jurassic Park was released 25 years ago, so what? Did James Cromwell want to clone his daughter and didn't successfully do it until 10 years later or 15 years later? Yet John Hammond still cut him out for even thinking of the idea, even though John Hammond should sympathize since his original daughter saw the park before the events of Jurassic Park, so you would think John Hammond met this daughter, so don't you think he would have cared more than to cut him out before he even attempts to do the cloning, which still took another 10 to 15 years, so all this would have happened in a matter of weeks. This confuses me on multiple levels. The only returning characters are Owen and Claire, who lack the charisma of the first outing, and BD Wong, who does nothing much except be built up as some important character that he's not. Jeff Goldblum's scenes are in the trailer, and that's it. He has no other scenes in the movie. What a waste and a letdown. James Cromwell has the personality of John Hammond, but his placement in the series timeline is confusing. The rich tycoon was the most ridiculous villain in the series, going full cartoon. There's Toby Jones, who plays a completely pointless role, and then there's the young girl who takes up nearly half of the second act, bringing in her story out of nowhere, even though it adds no depth despite the possibilities. So much could have been done with her character, no matter how silly the idea of cloning is, but instead we waste time on this mansion set piece that lacks the scope of the island. I'm glad they finally got the dinosaurs off the island, but they didn't do much with them in the mansion. Then there's Blue, who they attempt to give some kind of emotional depth to again, even though I never really cared too much, but it's a fan favorite, and I guess it continues the storyline from the first film, so I guess it kinda works as a relationship between him and Owen, maybe? Her and Owen? I don't know, is Blue a girl or a guy? There's not really a good villain in this. The last film had the same kind of villainy from the first film, where some characters have bad intentions while others have good intentions, all during a dinosaur rampage. The last movie at least had a central bad dinosaur in the Indominus Rex. This film lacks anything like that, except there's this new raptor whose biology is extremely confusing and never delved into much, but don't worry, it dies real quick, so we don't have to ever worry about it again, I guess. In any case, they try to create the same suspense of the last film with a genetically engineered dinosaur, but it's introduced way too late and does nothing new. It's getting old. I feel bad because the film is actually shot pretty well, and the music is great. The effects seem even better than the last film, but the plot has such serious issues of pacing and makes me question nearly everything. I don't like to nitpick or flag a film for plot holes, but maybe if the movie wasn't so boring and derivative, I'd give it a better pass. I mean, all these films are derivative, but the fourth one at least made the set pieces larger and just made everything fun. This fifth installment tries a couple new things, but most of it is overshadowed by the build-up for the next film, which, yeah, it'd be great to see dinosaurs terrorize the country as promised by the ending, but why wait a movie to do that when you could have done it here? You could have had the dinosaurs attack the country in this movie. That could have been the main plot of the story. Now you just have a bunch of setup that relies heavily on stupid characters with stupid motivations and really one-dimensional personalities, which would work fine if it was a fun action movie, but it's not. Nothing about the characters work, and I'm amazed that a film that follows up a dumb movie executed effectively could make this many terrible mistakes. The entire time I wanted the movie to end.
Is there anything I liked? Well, like I said, I thought it was still shot pretty well. The cinematography is good. I thought the music was pretty good. And the first 20 minutes were actually pretty spectacular and in tone with the last film. But it still was just a mess of a screenplay, a mess of a story. There was way too many characters introduced, and a lot of them were pretty much pointless. We've gotten to a point where each of the characters are either 100% good or 100% bad. There's nothing really interesting, despite the fact that they're trying to bring interesting ideas to this movie. Ideas that only ever worked in the first Jurassic Park, and since then have gone to the wayside because they'd rather just show us the dinosaurs. And I thought the fourth film made that work, and I'm still interested in seeing a sixth film do something similar to what the fourth film did. But if we're going to stick to this kind of story, where ridiculous plot points, ridiculous characters, and all of it meshed together in a sort of not fun kind of way, if we're going to keep doing this franchise is not going to work for me. I'm okay with stupid, I'm okay with dumb, but I am not okay with the way that this film was paced, the way it brings forth its ideas, the way they come out of nowhere, the way that nothing is plotted out in any coherent way, and the way that it just isn't fun. It was not a fun movie.
Thanks for watching the video. A special thanks to Ryan for supporting me on Patreon. If you'd like to join him and get early access to certain videos and have your name stamped on the end of videos and even request reviews monthly, then please click on the Patreon link, and thanks for the support.